Hi everyone. My name is Ramon Zavala. I'm the Interim Supervising Employee Transportation Coordinator for Sustainable Transportation at Transportation and Distribution Services at the University of California, Irvine. And I make myself say that off the bat because it really slows me down, because I really love talking about bikes and I love getting people on bikes. And if I didn't temper myself, this is what the presentation would look like. And some people have issues with this. It's a bit loud, but this is completely true. Riding a bike is so freaking sweet. I can't believe that we're not all riding bikes right now. And I would just go really neat guy, because that's a nice shorter title. So, as the original title said, this is just a talk about whetting your appetite to ride. I'm not going to tell you how to ride in a pace line, prepare for the Tour de France in this talk or anything like that. I just want you on a bike, and that's really what this is all about. But first we have to ask, what is a bike? And the California Vehicle Code says things that are very dry, but in all reality, summary is it has at least one wheel. You would think bicycle, at least two wheels. Pedals and either a chain or a belt drive, which means all of these are obviously bicycles. You got your beach cruiser up there, leans you back a little bit, very comfortable. Dutch city cruiser, similar to a beach cruiser, except it's a bit more upright. You get a little more back support, and it's a bit more utilitarian. You can carry stuff on it. You have your road bike. This is for when you want to ride really, really fast, and often with a club. Got a mountain bike when you want to really go fast downhill in the mud and the rocks. And then my favorite right there is the hybrid, which is a mix between the two of these. You have an upright riding style, but you get a lot of the speed and control that you would in a road bike also. These are also bikes, bicycles. Yeah, a four-wheel Surrey over there, which would be great for a bike pool. You got a tricycle, oddly enough, still a bicycle, and a unicycle. Very easy, pretty much wheels, pedal, chain, that's it. I'm going to assume that everyone has a bike, and if you don't have a bike, that you're going to feel really compelled to get one after this. What else do you need? Number one, you need some really loud, very thin, compromising clothing, and with sponsorships. You can't ride a bike without sponsorships. Second, you need some specialized cycling shoes that keep your foot locked into the pedals, so you go as fast as possible. And, you need specialized formula to drink, and you need someone handing you water bottles constantly throughout your ride. And you need a bunch of people to ride with. Done. No. It's actually a bit more simple than that. First thing you need is a bike. A bike. We're talking any beach cruiser, any hybrid. If you have a road bike, a road bike. If you have a bike from the 1970s, cool, vintage is in. A mountain bike, anything will do. A bike. And a path. You need somewhere to ride. And this loaded so nice and quickly. This here is the Back Bay Drive, right by the Back Bay. It's a favorite amongst cyclists. And it's really quite fantastic. If you don't feel comfortable riding around your own neighborhood, then this is a fantastic option. There's plenty of road parking right before you get on Back Bay Drive. And Back Bay Drive is effectively closed off to regular traffic. It's a one-way road that has a speed limit of 15 miles an hour, and then a divide so that pedestrians and bicyclists can go the other direction. So you just ride, and it's gorgeous. Can anyone guess when I took this video? Mid-January. It was about 78 degrees, and it was the best thing ever. I was just taking this ride with a friend of mine. Did I hit that button? Maybe I hit that button. YouTube's a bit slow with this. And now we go. It's going to take a second to go to the next slide. But has anyone even heard of Back Bay Drive, ridden on the Back Bay? Oh, wow. I'm preaching to the choir here. This is taking longer than expected. Chew amongst yourselves. Here we go. In addition to a path, you need a reason to ride. Now, I'll be completely straight with you. If I didn't have the good reason to transport myself from point A to point B, I would not ride a bike. If I did not need to walk from point A to point B, I would not walk for fitness. I know that about me, so I've completely integrated bicycling into my life. I do not have a driver's license. I never have and hopefully never will. Why? Because I really like taking the bus. I really like taking the train. Carpooling is fantastic. And biking is utterly wonderful. So this could be me, except I don't think I'm that big anymore. I go shopping on my bike. That's a fantastic reason to ride a bike. You could be one of those who wants that idyllic picnic out in the field. Who's digging this one right here? You don't want a picnic? Yes. And since we're at Fitness Friday, a lot of us are very, very self-aware of our shortcomings or big comings on the tummy over here. So that's a fantastic reason to ride also. So you have your bike, you have a path, you have a reason. We're just talk quick mechanics. I'm also going to suggest you have a helmet and a lock. Yes, technically it's legal not to ride your bike without a helmet after the age of 18 or after the age of 17. But here's the quickie bit of it. If you fall down, you're going to wish you had a helmet. It's that easy. And of course, we hope you don't fall down. You're going to have a bit of practice before you go on longer rides so you don't fall down. But it's there just in case. And if you don't have a helmet right now and you do have a bike, I just want to let you know that BEEP, which is the Bicycle Enforcement Education Program, it's a partnership between the police department and Transportation Distribution Services, will be giving away helmets if you need one. The news just went up today on the bike.uci website. Check it out. We just ask you to email us with answers to a couple questions. Why didn't you use a helmet before now? And why are you wearing one now? That's it. We just want that information. When it comes to locks, if you're going to leave your bike for any amount of time, even if you're just going to go in there for just a minute, you need a lock. And I always suggest a U-lock. And when you lock up your bike, you lock up your frame with at least one of your wheels together. On bikeuci.edu or even on my blog, if you just search for Bike UCI on Google, it pops right up, shows you exactly how to lock up your bike to the most popular kinds of racks on campus. Everything else when it comes to riding a bike is just, what did I put on there? Icing on the celebratory, low-fat, sugar substitute bite size, totally just going to have one cupcake. And that's the genuine, honest truth. You could get some wicking wear. Right here, this is athletic wear. You can wear it when running, cycling, whatever. You don't need a jersey. This is my running shirt that I ride in. I keep it under here. You notice how it matches. I planned for that. Water bottles. Yes, if you're going to go a long distance, you really should take water with you. But if you're just going to take a jaunt around the block, you don't typically need that. Don't let it hold you back. A ski lift turned into a bike lift. That's also really nice, but you don't need it. These are all just extras. But riding with a friend is always a total plus. These are a couple photos from the Taco Tuesday social ride, of which I am until recently, regular member. That's us riding up Anteater Drive on our way to Corona del Mar. And this is us at Corona del Mar. We grab some food on Tuesday nights, go to a place, have fun, and then ride on back together. You think that sounds like a really mundane activity, but it's the best thing in the world. So that's the real nebulous look of it. That's generally what you need. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty and talk about details. What are the steps that you need to take to get on the bike, get riding, and then fall in love with yourself all over again? Number one, assuming you have a bike, check to make sure your chain is not rusty. A good test of that is, if your bike chain is orange and it wasn't intentionally painted orange, you might need to replace it. If it sounds like a pair of songbirds are whistling or fighting when you're riding it, that means it's rusty also. Take it to a bike shop. They'll be able to fix that up for you really quickly. Are your tires flat? And I do mean at all flat. If you see any bend on the tire itself when you're riding it, chances are you don't have enough air in it. And if you don't have enough air in your tires, you're pedaling really, really hard. And you don't need to for the most part. Do your brakes work? Really good question. So test both your brakes, left or right, if you have handle brakes, or your coaster brakes by pedaling backwards. These are minimum standards here before you ride your bike. And is your seat high enough? Now, most people feel really, really safe when they can just have their booty on the seats and go left foot, right foot on the ground. If you do that, you might actually end up messing up your knees. What you need to do, if you're going to have your butt on the seat, your bike should lean like this. Otherwise, you step off your seat when you're stopped, begin pedaling, and go again. So a low seat can cause injury. Find a nearby destination and plan your route. This is the Back Bay Drive. The blue doesn't turn out so well, but this is only, 3.3 miles according to Google Maps. Wow, miles by human transportation. That's going to take forever. It might, depending on how long you've been riding. But I'll tell you what, once you get back to your car or once you ride back home, you're going to feel on top of the world. So this can be your neighborhood. This could be just around the block. This just could be to the park and back. It doesn't matter. Plan the path, take the ride. Wear comfy clothes. I was kind of mocking the whole club rider up at the very beginning, but in all honesty, if you're going to be riding 25, 30 miles an hour for 70 miles 3 times a week, those specialized clothes are really useful. But for myself, when I'm even riding up to 30 miles at a time just for fun, that's pretty much how I'm dressed. And that's kind of like the bike I ride. You don't really need to have a sports car to commute. You don't need to have a racing bike to take a ride around the community. And then you just ride. It sounds really simple, but it really is that simple. You have to put one leg over the bike and you start to pedal. But when you ride, wear your helmet. Again, please wear a helmet. 2, be courteous to the fellow road and sidewalk users. Now I'm going to speak about sidewalk riding real quick. It is not always legal to ride on the sidewalk. Oftentimes, such as in the cities of Newport Beach and Costa Mesa, sidewalk riding is extremely limited. So be considerate of that. Sometimes cops will clamp down on there. And it's often made illegal because the sidewalks are very narrow, and if you run over a pedestrian, you have injuries, and then nobody's happy. However, in the cities of Irvine and Tustin, it is completely legal to ride on the sidewalk unless you're right by a school. Because, kids run out and then you hit them and then again, no one's happy. So if you're on the sidewalk, please be courteous to the pedestrians. If you're on the road, please be courteous to all other road users. That's cars. And that means if you're going to merge out into a lane so you go into the left turn lane, please signal, please look back, please signal again, and then make that very definitive, predictable, well-visible move. And then tell someone about it. Who here has ridden with someone before? Anyone? Linda, because I know your name. When was your first bike ride?
When was my first bike ride?
Your first bike ride.
I learned late. I learned at the age of 10, and I learned so I could go on a progressive lunch with my Girl Scout troop.
With your Girl Scout troop. Who else here has ridden specifically with a friend or a group? You do. I know you do. You guys over there, you guys have a lunchtime ride even. Sorry, we're interrupting that. On Zot Wheels, no less, the campus bike share. It just makes a world of difference when you tell someone about it because it brings it to reality. If you do this completely solo all the time, for certain personalities, that's cool. It could be independence, it can be freedom, but in a lot of other situations, it makes it visceral. I'd say, hey, Juliana, I went biking yesterday. It was fantastic. I'm probably going to go again next week. Tell your family, tell your friends. If you won't tell me, biking at uci.edu, I'll take your stories. I'll put them on my blog. You could be a guest writer. And then you ride again. That's kind of true, except you guys are fantastic. Riding again can kind of be difficult because you get that massive the elation of having done something, and you think to yourself, yeah, well, I did it. I could take a break. Go ride again the next day. Not telling you to go ride 30 or 50 miles. Just go ride around the block. Just keep that feeling going. And then I'm going to ask you to take a step back and notice how your body feels. If you haven't ridden in a long time, you're going to notice that your thighs feel a bit larger, hulkish even. Engorged with blood from you going 400 miles an hour past all these cars stuck in traffic. Your calves too. And you might even feel a little bit of strain. And the stretches to fix that are relatively simple. Calf stretch. Very easy. Thigh stretch. Oh, no. Yes. You're going to feel a lot of this up here and a lot of this down here. And remember, that's not pain. You might feel a little burn, but that's success. That's what that is. That's me going out and riding my bike 2 days in a row now, and I have something to show for it. And then you ride again. It sounds like I'm really making it too simple, but in all honesty, it is. The hard part is just getting on the bike and pedaling that first pedal. But once you're out there, you're there for good. And then we have the next steps. I suggest going shopping on your bike. Does anyone here live within walking distance of a store that you would visit normally? Excellent. Take your bike there instead. Lock it up. Anyone live within walking distance of work? Even better. Take your bike into work one day. Lock it up. And I know you do. You take the hill. My favorite part is smiling at another person on a bike. You would not believe how sociable people on bikes can be. I have a bike bell on my bike, and it is the most amazing way to get everyone in the world's attention. Ring, ring. Oh my God, hi. Because everyone loves a bike bell. It's the most fantastical step back in time. It brings idyllic imageries to mind, and it works on everyone. Even older guys. Do you like a bike bell? See, look at it. That's right, see? Would you mind hearing a bike bell? See? Fantastic. If you don't have a bike bell, get a bike bell. Otherwise, just smile at people. Good morning. My experience in Irvine has been relatively thorough. I started here as an undergraduate in 2000, and then after that became a professional here. And I could never get used to the regular city because people seem so inwardly focused. They go home, they lock their doors, that's it. But if you go on, say, the San Diego Creek Trail in the morning on a commute, or you see other cyclists, everyone may seem focused on what they're doing, but you say good morning, and they're like, hi! It's amazing. Everyone on a bike seems to want to talk to other people on bikes. Sometimes if I'm riding down PCH, I'll see another person with bags on their bike, like, hello, fellow bag user. It's amazing. Do it yourself. It's fantastic, and it feels great. Wait a second. 2 more things. Attend an educational bike session here on campus. We call it Bike UCI. It's either myself or 2 other league certified instructors. Kevin and him and Ansel, you guys might know those names. They also work here on campus. One in housing, one in OIT at Student Affairs. They are fantastic. I'll say a little more fantastic than me, just barely. But those typically go on during May, during Bike Month, or just before Bike Month. So keep your ears open for those, and hopefully we'll be planning some really in-depth bike courses even before that. As part of the League of American Bicyclists, there's this one class called Traffic Skills 101, which we are certified to teach. And it's 8 hours of intensive education about bicycling. And that doesn't mean I'm going to train you to run 500 miles or to bike 500 miles. I'm going to make sure you know all the laws, all the rules of the road, the statistics, how falls happen, how crashes happen, and how to avoid all of them. Take you out, have you practice, and then take you out on the roads that you should normally use on a commute. That way you feel fully prepared and empowered to ride your bike wherever you need to go. Or you can just ask me about your next steps. I'm always available. I'll be honest, I'm not the quickest to respond all the time because life is quite busy at work. But send an email to biking@uci.edu and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you ask me a single question, I'll probably answer in a letter form, possibly a thesis. So I won't, I'm not kidding. I love talking about bikes. But it's a start. And this, I have one more video here, and I think I'm going to be able to play it without a problem. I consider this young gentleman my philosophical superior when it comes to cycling. Give me a second. We're working. We're doing this. It's a wonderful pause, though. Let's just take a step back and reflect. Yes?
Do you have anything on YouTube?
I have one video on YouTube right now, and that is just of the Back Bay Drive. I have that video from the start to finish of the Back Bay Drive. So if you want to know what it's like before you ride it, go ahead and check that out, and I could give some info on that. Hold on. Let me work on this volume. More volume. All right, let's see if we get some sound here. Survey says. So, as the young gentleman says, after riding your bike, you too can feel happy of yourself. And it does feel like that. Every time I ride to work, I lock my bike up and I'm like, I feel happy of myself. And I head home, I feel happy of myself. It is wonderful. I'm not lying to you. The feeling is fantastic. It's you expending some energy to go pretty fast. And my name is Ramon Zavala. I bike at UCI, and this is my ride. This is what I ride. Fair point, though. I don't always ride with all those bags. That was just on a beer and cheese run. But I really like to carry a lot of things. It just makes my biking feel more and more useful, more and more philosophically justified. And if you have any need to contact me at work here, that's my direct line for email. That's my direct line for phone. Also want to mention that we have a silver level bicycle friendly university status that is out of platinum, gold, silver, bronze. There's only 3 universities ahead of us, Stanford, Berkeley, and Davis. Stanford has a couple more dollars than we do, understood. But we're really shooting for gold, and if we roll those dice right, we might be able to get platinum here on the UCI campus. And we're also designated as a best workplace for commuters. Commuters being not necessarily just the people that drive in alone, but anyone who carpool, vanpool, bike, bus, train, and walk. If you have any questions regarding any of those modes of transportation, especially carpool or vanpool, raise your hand, Michelle, in the back. Michelle is our ride matching professional. She can get you on a vanpool if you need to come to campus from a distance and want to save some money, or maybe hook you up with someone else that's looking for a carpool ride as well.